You really see, when you come to a gathering like this, the sort of passion, which is for many people a lifelong passion, to work in community. It's a labour of love.
Community development has not met for about 20 years in Victoria, and so it felt time that we really sort of meet again to figure out what's happening.
After the pandemic, I mean, that was an intense time for community development workers, supporting our communities, supporting, workers and colleagues. That was a difficult time, and we got through that, but we haven't come together, and we need to come together because we've got all of these experiences and thoughts. The world's changed. How are we changing with it? What do we need to do to support our communities in this new world that we're in?
This is so timely and so needed, just to gather and be reminded of connection, be reminded that there is a whole group of people who are as passionate as I am about being part of community, about seeing thriving neighbourhoods.
It's definitely time. Past time for us to come together.
Really, we were looking to build something pretty humble in some ways, but I think there's such a thirst for these sort of conversations, which rarely happen, and as I mentioned, haven't happened for a long time, that we got probably a bit blown away with the support and interest in the conference. The bulk of the conference are people who've been working in community development for a long time, older generations. The idea of younger community workers, it's not lost, but there's sort of breaks in tradition, and that has not only to do with the lack of courses, for example, at university, the devaluing of it as a profession, for example, the underpay of workers in neighbourhood housing, etc. It also has to do with the broader political context, because the reality is that there's been generational breaks, decimated the very idea of community. It's very much, the last 4 decades have been very much about the individual.
And therefore regain the strength of relationship, because the aloneness which we have been adopted to in capitalist culture, because that's what it is, has segregated us from one another more and more, and has, even worse, has made us always potential enemies, because we're supposed to compete with one another. Our relationalities, the way in which we relate with one another is totally up shit creek. We don't talk with one another anymore. Even COVID has helped a bit. We started to talk when COVID and after COVID happened, but we should do that much more regularly with neighbours in the street, in our businesses, offices, all of that. And that's not just amongst people, that is also our relationship with the world, with the flowers, with the animals.
Whether it be with local government, with larger NGOs, organisations, for people to have a kind of shared language and a shared understanding of what community development is.
I think in the local government space, there's actually a lot of confusion between community engagement and community development, where we know community engagement is everything from information telling to empowerment, and quite often it's on those bottom rungs of telling, of consultation and those sorts of things, where we really need to get to a point where it's community setting the agenda.
We have to remember that we need to listen with attention.
If we listen deeply, we discover what people care about enough to act on, and that's just so powerful.
Coming together with passionate people at this point in time so we can have a collective voice to share our experiences, and from that see the connections, and from that mobilise together and creatively come together to solve the issues we see in our communities.
So the conference has probably got well over 60 presentations happening across 5 or 6 different venues. 270 registrations at the conference, all here and keen to express their passion for ongoing, creative, constructive, organised community work.
I suppose to me it's really a way of reclaiming what we always had. We always lived in villages, we always knew our neighbours and that, and we've gone through a period where we've become very alienated. So it's kind of a process of relearning.
I think the revolution that we want to see in the world starts from our hearts, and then it starts from our close relationships, our families, our friends, and I think we start to get ready because we start to do things together a lot more.
Being in these spaces with practitioners who have experience within their own communities enacting positive changes based on what has been important to the community at the time is incredibly valuable, and I hope to see more of this going forward.
The conference is really great. It made me think deeply, and it triggered me to read more about community concepts, community development, community organizations, community connection.
I feel like every session I've come away with something to research, something to consider, and something to put into my own practice.
Yeah, community development is all about learning from each other and all about helping each other and working together. So a conference like this is really unique and very important.
I'm excited to kind of do something with what I learned from.